All right, y'all. So I had a video that I did the same day as I think it was the same day as the Orlando game. I could be wrong, but I did a video criticizing um, b-ball breakdowns discussion on Alex Caruso, and I basically, to sum it up, criticized him because I felt like any discussion of Caruso should also feature Zoe if we're talking defense, because this was about defensive player of the year, yada yada yada. And vice versa, I think any discussion of Zoe should also include Caruso because they amp each other. Like they enhance the other properties on defense that each other have. I'm talking like I'm a game. My gaming shit is coming out right now. If y'all play games, RPGs, you kind of get my language. But anyway, so I criticized him on that, but that video never came out, and I still had it up until a little while ago, and that was and I had it because I was still going to release it, but that changed. It changed because there's another video that came out. Thinking Basketball is one of my favorite channels on YouTube as far as like hoop content, right? And they put out a video about an hour and a half ago. And it's titled Lockdown Brothers, Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. And I loved it. I freaking loved it. And it basically exemplified everything that I was criticizing B-Ball Breakdown of. Straight, and it is funny to me how the shit happened because I'm sitting there like, and I love B-Ball Breakdown shit. Don't get me wrong, he didn't make a bad video. Don't let me not, you know, get that twisted. I implore you guys to go watch the video if you haven't. But I also implore you guys to go watch the Lockdown Brothers by Thinking Basketball. But here's the thing, man. There has to be a serious discussion. Cause see, look, Stacey King already called DeRozan and Zach the Slash Brothers, which really they more like the Blues Brothers on offense, the way they fuck up like rotations and well, not rotations, wrong word. The way they fuck up possessions. And yes, I mean, yeah, they score and they do their thing, but let's be real. They're not looking to pass. And that's okay to say. They do what they do, they're supposed to score. But with them being called the Slash Brothers, people are forgetting that the only reason this defense is legit is Zoe and Caruso, or Caruso, as I call them. And because of Caruso, they and me putting it that order actually works for a couple reasons. One, it's phonetically it just works, but Caruso is typically the better point of attack defender, so thus he leads the name Caru, and then Zoe is kind of he's not bad as a point of attack defender by any means, which thinking basketball, make sure that point was made too. Lonzo's right there with Caruso. But I think I would rather have Caruso on ball because I think Lonzo's skill set is better applied off ball. I think his IQ and his genetics transcend Caruso off ball. And I think it's better to make it's better to have Caruso on ball so you get the best variant of Zoe defensively off ball. But they can both play each other. They can both play on ball, off ball, so it don't matter. But with that, it's like Zoe covering the backside. And those two seamlessly, if you watch the games, they communicate. They rarely, if at all, ever fuck up a possession defensively due to communication. And they're just great players. I mean, they just play the game of basketball well. If there's any fault to them, it's the scoring. And to me, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be that big of a deal if Caruso could actually hit, his 40% from three. And he took a pretty good amount. He only took, I think, like two a game last year next to LeBron, and he was getting 40%. He's not near that yet. If he could get it up there, great. But that's one of my concerns about those two is late in games, are they going to, look to leave Caruso open to make a play? Because they can't do that to Zoe. Zoe's a legit. We're 20 games into the season. Um, Actually, I think 21 now. So Zoe is a 44% shooter over 21 games. I'm sorry, that's a fat ass sample size. That's legit as fuck. But you know, if I were gonna complain, it'd be that. Okay. Offensively for both of them. Hell, Zoe finishing at the rim at like below 40%. He's been terrible. Okay. Um, Caruso has been better there, but Caruso has been shit shooting, which is kind of a balance if you think about it. But anyway, I think thinking basketball did both of them justice. And I think if we're going to have a conversation, first of all, if we're going to talk defensive player of the year, I'm taking Zoe. I'm taking Zoe. And I say that because, yes, Caruso could do his thing without Zoe, and Zoe could do his thing. But if you're telling me, really, okay, defensively, it's not even about what they bring defensively. It's really what separates them on offense, which is passing and shooting. Zoe's better. If we're talking strictly defense, there's really you can't go wrong with either or. I guess it would depend stylistically on what you want. Because Caruso's a more physical defender. Not to say that Zoe isn't. But Zoe is a more crafty and tactical defender. And they both use the physical and the crafty tactical aspects of their game, but I think Zoe shines when he's using that versus the physical, and I think Caruso shines for the physical versus the crafty and other stuff. Which again, it would just depend on your defense or what you're using, or what you have or need. Um, to be frank with you guys, they're being dragged down by the other three guys on the court with them. And imagine if these guys were backed by somebody like, say, Rudy Gobert, who's a generational floor raiser on defense. Same thing like Draymond Green. Imagine if these were the guys that were behind them instead of DeRozan and Vooch and sometimes Zach. I mean, you might have the greatest defense assembled on a team. And I'm going to stick my neck out and say this. Doop, 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 doop. They're generational defensively. I want that to be out there. I want that to be said. I don't want anybody coming up to the meet late talking about, oh yeah, they no. They're generational. Like, they're defensively so good, you could build a defensive core around those two. And if you give them a solid rim protector, like a solid, if here's here's how my mind thinks about this, right? Vooch, without those two, shit. Vooch with those two, above average. Think how far of a leap that is. He was ranked number two in defense, I think, this year at one point. Vooch. He wasn't ranked there because he was that good. He was ranked there because of the pieces around him, primarily those two. In the pick and roll, it's they bust that. They break that shit up. But imagine if you give me any center that you think is average, like as far as like defense, and they would look like a superstar with Caruso and Zoe. And it's to the point, I don't even think you need a high maintenance center for this team. You just need a guy who is committed to defending, who's going to give effort, but has. And I promise you, that defense won't be anything less than top three. And you won't have any weaknesses on the court. So eventually, when this team gets ready to move off of Vooch, because it will happen, they need to get someone who's at least average, preferably above average, but someone who's average. Someone who could sit there and deter shots. Preferably athletic. You want them to be able to have some degree of mobility, okay? And they're going to take off defensively. But man, just think about it. We played Miami last night. They got Jimmy and Bam in their front court. And PJ Tucker, nigga, imagine if you had Caruso and Zoe. Where are you going to get points? I don't know, y'all. I don't know where you're going to get points. I really, truly don't know. But honestly, let me be real. If they were in Miami and they were like the starting backcourt, I'm not saying that they would be great offensively or nothing, but it would surprise me if they held teams to 76 points a game. And I want you to think about this. 48 minutes. I'm saying 76. If you want to say 80, that's fine. Which would be 20 points a quarter. I'm basically saying 19. I think they could help. I think they could hold teams to 19, maybe less, with like a front court like that. But good luck. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. December 15th. Ping that date on your calendar, people. That is the day all these off-season acquisitions can be moved. So there's, oh, we should trade, we should do that. You can't do it yet, people. But starting in, business about to pick up. I'm not saying the first day we gonna make a move, but chirping, it's gonna be some of that. It's already some chirping. But anyway, peace.